Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, also our country, but how we're going to fix both of them together. And the content that I'm going to show you right now is going to make you smile. If it doesn't, you might be dead. Because it follows up on a story, a magical solution that came from gun controllers in New York, how they were going to use AI to detect who was carrying guns at the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars to the taxpayers in only a few select locations, of which were fully announced and could easily be avoided. Shocker, has miserably failed. Oh, you guys are going to love every second of this. We're going to dive right into this. I'm going to show you a hit from our sponsor real quick, and then we are going to jump in. Guys, I'm excited to welcome back to the channel one of my favorite sponsors, Ground.News. And you can find out all about this at ground.news/Langley. But one of the reasons they're my favorite sponsors is because they genuinely help with the mission of this channel. They show you the bias, the distribution, who owns the information that you're consuming. It cuts through all of the BS to give us a true picture of what's actually happening. Now, if you look on the homepage right here through the Vantage subscription, which is what I'm logged into, you can see the election news on the right. You can see the main articles that are featured in the middle. But this one we covered earlier today, top left on the daily briefing, Trump's Cheney comments. Now look at this. We covered this, but look at the distribution. The left is responding a lot bigger than the right, with the middle making up the middle, which is ironic because that's what they are. 201 articles from the 60 original. You can see it right there. Then if you go down here, it shows you the actual bias distribution. Guys, this is one of those tools that is so applicable for what we do, and it's something that you can get for 50% off with a link in the description box below, the Vantage subscription. This is something that I think you will find value from, and thank you to them for making this content possible. Check it out. All right, people, we're going to dive over to ABC News, the Big Apple, New York, the solutions for gun violence. Yeah, okay. Anyway, past the propaganda. AI-powered weapon scanners used in New York City's subway found 0 guns in 1-month test. Well, wait a minute. It's almost like the hundreds of $1,000s per station was pointless. Let's continue. A pilot program testing AI-powered weapon scanners inside some New York City subway stations this summer did not detect any passengers with firearms, but falsely alerted more than 100 times. Now, as you can see, this came out last week, but it's a good update because we covered when they first announced it in this summer. Listen to this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, give you guys a better picture. It turns out that the pilot program testing the AI-powered weapon scanners did not detect any passengers with firearms, but falsely alerted more than 100 times, according to newly released police data. Through nearly 3,000 searches, the scanners turned up more than 118 false positives, as well as 12 knives, police said, though they declined to say whether the positive hits referred to illegal blades or tools, such as pocket knives that are allowed in the transit system. Okay, let's just keep going. It gets even better. Again, remember, Mayor Adams put this in here as the solution at hundreds of $1,000s per pop at only select locations. They're about to start making fun of this too because it's so embarrassingly bad. Because after all, it's the guns that are the problem, not the criminals. Yeah. The announcement drew skepticism from some writers and civil liberties groups who argued it was neither feasible nor constitutional to scan millions of riders who enter the subway system through hundreds of entrances per day. Yet they put this at like a handful of stations. So right off the bat, what are you thinking? I'm a criminal. I've got a gun. I'm not supposed to have it somewhere. I'm not supposed to have it. I'm probably going to avoid those handfuls of stations. Anyway, after Adams promised for months to make the results of the test public, the New York Police Department released a 4-sentence statement Wednesday night, noting it had performed 2,749 scans at 20 stations. Again, remember, hundreds of stations, but they chose 20. During the 30-day period. In total, there were 118 false positives, a rate of 4.29%. Now, here's a fun little thing. I just thought about doing it. Let's just say we had 1 million people who ride the subway. Let's just say it says millions. Let's be generous. Let's just do 2 million times 4. Again, let's be generous again. Let's just do 0.04%. That is a whole. Oops, I did it wrong. Hold on. That is 80,000 false positives a day if you apply that to scale. 80,000 infringements upon people's rights if they decide to say okay to being searched. Now let's get to this. Again, remember 80,000. The statement did not describe the length of time of each screening, how many officers were required to staff the devices, or how many riders refused the searches. What? So let's just float this down a little bit further. This is New York gun control logic. So you're going to put it at 20 stations out of hundreds. You're going to have a failure rate of almost 4.5%, which equates to 80,000 people that would be false positives per day. And then once you find those 80,000 false positives, you give them the option to be searched, and they say no. Guys, this is what it looks like when gun controllers try to gun control. But anyway, this is of course after Kathy Hochul deployed the National Guard to the subway, which was a fun thing we covered as well. But now let's talk about the company, Evolv, because this is not screaming corruption. Evolv has faced legal issues in recent years, including federal probes into its marketing practices, led by the FTC and the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. Earlier this year, investors filed a class action lawsuit accusing company executives of overstating the device's capabilities and claiming that Evolv does not reliably detect knives or guns. In a statement Thursday, the Legal Aid Society said the results proved the program was, quote, objectively a failure, no matter how hard City Hall tries to spin this data. And their quote from their failure announcement, given this failed pilot, all other overwhelming evidence against using Evolv's weapon detectors, and the surrounding controversies, including lawsuits and various investigations, we hope that this ill-conceived, fraught, and unwanted idea is finally shelved for good, the statement said. Guys, the city of New York decided to partner with a company that was already under multiple lawsuits for overstating what it was capable of doing when it can't do it. Then they put it into practice at hundreds of thousands of dollar leases per pop from the from the New York City funds, and then it had a failure rate of 5%. Applied in the entire subway transit system would be 80,000 a day, and this is what it is. Guys, this is gun control in action. That's exactly what this is, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.